Well, it's been about 5 years since the Mere was sold by Pilkingtons, the company who've owned it for forever, and they sold it to another company who really wanted to increase rents and developers get as much income as possible from the Mere, and that meant that we had to try to sort of pay those rents, and they initially doubled the rent. That left us in a position where we were paying our rent but had no lease which would guarantee our future. And we've essentially been living with that for the last 5 years. However, there comes a time when you think this is not going to end well, and so probably 2 years ago we decided really to sort of look at what would happen if it didn't end well, and to look at alternatives. And we looked at another lake in St Helens. That didn't turn out well, and then we actually had a look at other sailing clubs and had meetings with other sailing clubs. And on one day we turned up at Wigan Sailing Club, and we met with a group of people which were very similar to us.
Andrew and Derek came down to Wigan Sailing Club one Sunday, I think it was sort of like mid-afternoon, and said, "Hello, we're from Pilkington Sailing Club. How many members can you take?" So we said, I said to them, "Well, let's go inside. We'll have a coffee, and we'll talk about what the what's up, what's the issue, because we'll take everybody we can possibly take. We won't turn anybody away." During the conversation, I mentioned the word merger. Would you consider a merger as an option? And they were, I think, they were a bit sort of stunned at first. It's like, well, hang on a minute, we've not thought about this. We thought to ourselves, well, Wigan Sailing Club over the past few years has in a way struggled a little bit with membership, of getting new people in. This year, headcount growth, last time I checked, gone over 45%. But then came along Pilkingtons, and so we were like, well, a merger would be great, because they've got a load of people who are doers. The great competitive racers, and what we don't have, they've got, and the bits that, some of the things that they don't have, we have. When you put all the best bits together, we're having a fantastic club. And as I said to them on Thursday at their EGM, I said, when we've moved the fence and we've made more boat park space and we've made the clubhouse a bit bigger and the jetties made a bit larger, I said, that's not the end, this is the start. We're all the founders now of the new club. You're not moving your bank account to our bank account, it's a new bank account and you're on it. You're not giving it to me, you're giving it to us. We'll stand together as equals and we'll grow the club. It might not be growth necessarily in terms of membership, because we'll have quite a lot of that, but we're going to grow in terms of what we do and how we go about it and the facilities we have.
After 2 meetings, we realised that the future really lay with a bigger club on a bigger water, with better sailing, and with a group of people who we were very similar to.
The first thing we got from the people who've been here from the start, I've been at Wigan since I was aged 11, and now I'm 21 and a bit. But some of the older traditional members, we say, thought, hang on, they're a bigger club, they'll swamp us, they'll drown us, they'll take over, they'll do this, they'll do that. I said, I don't think they will. Let's talk to them. Let's find out what they're about and who they are. And once we'd done that, and we chatted to them, and we said, well, what do you see your vision is? And we looked at our vision, and they were very compatible with each other. So we're like, well, do you know what? They're actually the same as us. They've just got different faces and different names, but fundamentally, we're all the same. So we'd fit together really well. So we started talking more in depth about how we would work together. And then people started coming around. It's like we gave them something to believe in, which was the vision of what the club would be, and they bought into it. And when we eventually did our EGM to decide, are we going to merge or not, which was the motion really, everybody voted unanimously for it.
There have been very few problems. There have been a whole series of issues that needed to be dealt with, whether they be legal issues or who owns what issues and what the new rules are going to be, and what the sailing instructions are going to be. But each and every one of them has resulted in a sort of a discussion around a table, and almost immediately, no argument, there's a method, a way through and a method that we've agreed on fairly readily. We've actually only had meetings since January, so I've made enormous progress in 6 or 7 months. The name Pilkington is part of the tradition, and it essentially says where the club came from. But the club has been the provider of sailing for St Helens for a long time, whether it be called Pilkingtons or what. But what the new plan will do, it will continue to supply or provide sailing for St Helens, but we will be sailing out of Wigan. So the name Pilkington Sailing Club doesn't actually describe what we do. The name Wigan and St Helens Sailing Club actually does describe what we're going to do.